or my computer. My note taker loves to take notes, but we need to be recording. Okay. Because I love these calls, I want to do them, but I need them to be productive. And there's a handful of you guys that show up to them, and there's even less that show up to the evening calls. So I also want to make sure that I am doing you guys justice across the board and everything. So for me to be doing these weekly and there's only a few people showing up, not real great. So I am going to hopefully see you guys show up a little bit more. I might move these to every other week, and only once a day. So here's what you guys need to do. If you want to have these every morning, is you need to get into that group and tell people start showing the F up to these. You want me to be here on a weekly basis. I don't mind doing them, but I want to make sure that everybody's getting value from them. And we're getting, or I might go to just once. You guys are the biggest group. I might just do them in the mornings going forward. You guys are usually the biggest group for me. So that being said, just to like give you guys a heads up on that. Super important that you guys are like, sharing in there because this is a good opportunity for you guys to hear from not, just me, but from each other. And like I said in the comments, like if you guys have questions, this is the place to ask them because you may show up on this call and find out you get an answer to a question you didn't even know you had.
Mm.
That's huge. And I know a few of you guys have already had that happen to you. I know, Christina, you talked about that. Like I got answers to questions I didn't even know
Yeah,
I had. You told me in
yeah.
a second. So always super important. By the way, I saw that you saw our podcast. That was fucking fire, wasn't
Oh
it?
my God, I turned it on. I had no idea you were going to be the guest, and I was like, Jules, oh, this is so fantastic.
So
It was
that's
a really good one.
Yeah, it really was. So that's the other
Yeah.
thing, guys. If you have not tuned into Becoming Her's latest podcast that dropped yesterday, you can see the link in my story. I will drop the link in the community as well. But
I
you can
think I
go to
shared it too. I
Spotify.
shared it.
Okay, thank you for sharing it. So Christina just shared the link. So it's in Spotify. Oh, listen, there's not one person on this call that should not go tune into that podcast. We drop some damn fire. We talk about food freedom, and let me tell you, it's not what you think we are going to talk about when it comes to food freedom, is it, Christina?
No, it was really good.
I'm
It was
glad you thought
insightful.
it was really good because
Yeah,
we were pretty raw and uncensored in it. But it's really good, guys, because what
yeah.
you may think we're going to talk about, we don't. And there's a lot of reality that we hit on. So definitely go tune in. And it's funny that you said that, Christina. Actually, we are going to probably do a lot more podcasts together. So boom, go watch that podcast. You will get a lot from it.
I have
Um,
a dumb question. I
There
have
are no
never,
such things as dumb questions.
okay, it is the fact that I am technology challenged. I have never in my life listened to a podcast or know where to find them. So I know it's crazy, but when I go to the link that Christina post shared,
Mhm.
is that going to take me to a podcast app that I have to download?
It's probably going to take you to Spotify. You are probably going to does she have to not download?
Well, I did the iTunes link,
Mhm.
Okay.
but I could put the Spotify one if you want
I
to.
don't have Spotify, I have Pandora.
Oh, okay. Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So if you click that link, when you buy your iPhone, it comes with the podcast app already in there. You
Okay.
might have
Okay.
deleted it, but if you click it and you don't have it installed, it'll bring you to the App Store. Then you download
Perfect.
that, and then you
Okay.
might need to re-click the link again to get to the episode.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Perfect. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank
You're
you. Thank you.
welcome. You got it.
We just changed your life. Podcasts are awesome.
I know. I have a friend, her name starts with T, who listens to a podcast every day.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna love it. Yeah. So yeah. So I'm glad you dropped. So she dropped the Apple one. If you guys have Spotify, you can download Spotify. If you type in Becoming Her, it'll actually come up too on any of those channels. But really, really good podcast. I didn't know she had it on Apple too.
Hey,
Um,
Jules.
Yes.
Morning. Sorry, I know I usually
Morning.
stay quiet. Yeah, I'll look for that also under Christina's feeds, but if you can somehow also put that on your feed somewhere, I'm not really sure.
It is. Yep.
Okay, all
So you
right.
guys, if you guys follow me, I had it posted on my story yesterday and I just reposted it again this morning. So if you guys follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and you watch my story. Oh, and I think she dropped it in the Facebook group. And if you guys are still hanging out in my Facebook group, you haven't migrated over to becoming her, I dropped it in there this morning. So listen, I got you covered. All right. Great questions. We're learning how to watch podcasts. Okay. I love it. See, never a dumb question, Shannon. Never a dumb question. Who's got some amazing wins they want to share? I see Stacy trying to come off of mute.
Hi. I couldn't
Hi.
come off mute. I was like, it won't work. Well, I don't know if it's amazing, but you and I had talked about this, Jules, about setting boundaries, not losing yourself. So I did it, baby. I did it. And I'm going to continue to do it. And I'm getting my steps back up. I'm getting outside. Spring is springing here in Nashville, and it is gorgeous. Yeah. So just being true to yourself. Yeah.
Days, right? The
Yes.
same thing. Yes. You know, I love that you said that because I thought about something myself. I think, guys, there's always a shift too, from fall, winter, and Christina, you probably have a little bit more of a gap to go until you get there. But there's a real thing about like your mood and the weather and the sunlight and things like that. So, for example, like last week, it was a little colder. I hate cold. We had 3 days of snowstorms. We don't get that shit in North Carolina. I was like over it. And it's really funny, like my steps kind of went down. Like I was getting my cardio in, but I wasn't at the high end of my step goal that my coach has for me. I was like on the lower end of it. And like, yes, and we were having a conversation about it, and he was like, this will stay in this range. And I was like, cool. And he's like, well, what do you think it is? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna get this walking pad. I think it's because I can't walk outside. Well, I didn't really walk a lot outside yesterday. It was my normal day, but my steps went back up. But it was nice out. It's the mood. So sometimes, a lot of times, guys, like I hate cold weather. So when it gets cold out, I think I like idle myself a little bit more. And it's a real thing. So like, Stacy, you made me think about that because like your steps went down when it kind of got wintry, in the Northwest. So just, think about that too, guys. Like our mood can be correlated a lot with the weather. And I don't know it's always the weather. Sometimes it's just the amount of sunlight that we're getting as well. So being hypersensitive and aware of that, then you can take action to make pivots, which my pivot was to break down and I did not want to get one of these things, right? Because I told myself I could get steps without it, but I'm like, fuck, I just got to get one. I don't have a choice. Then of course the weather changes, but it's about pivoting, guys. Sometimes you just have to pivot if you have that self-awareness. So that's kind of what you made me think about, Stacy. So like it's not always about it's situations, things that are happening. Of course, you had changes in your life as well, but also you were dealing with, weather issues.
And I got mad.
And
I
you
got
got mad.
so mad. It was so cold. It was like 7 degrees. And I was like, I said I was going to get my steps up. I gained a couple pounds and I was pissed off. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to just go to the gym at lunch and I'm just going to walk on the treadmill. And I've been listening to Let Them by Mel Robbins, and that's amazing. I love it. I've been telling other people about it. I'm like, dude, you got to get it. And they're like looking at me like, whatever. I'm like, if you just listen to it, just get to chapter 2, you'll see what I'm meaning. But I got mad at myself. I got mad at the weather. I got mad at everything. And I went to the gym during lunch and I got my steps in on the treadmill and I felt so much better. I felt so much better. Not just because I had walked, but because I took control of it and I quit being mad about it and I did something about it. So,
Yep.
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 So,
So true. Like we all are in control and have choices. And just to pivot off that too, like that actually, guys, and Shannon, for you, that's technology, not like once you start downloading an app, another app you might want to get is like listening to books online, like Kindle or something, because Mel Robbins, that Let Them Talk is a really good book. She's got a lot of great books, but that is a super good book. And guys, like listening to podcasts or books, like when you're getting up in the morning, walking, things like that. Like that's not my thing at the gym. I got to have something banging in my ear at the gym, like
Yeah.
getting wild motivated. But like walking and stuff like that, like that's a form of meditation, guys. Like, it doesn't have to be kumbaya or sitting in the middle of it, like walking. That's like a lot of you guys, I give you walking meditation. I don't give you walking meditation because I need you to get more exercise. I give it to you well, yeah, kind of try to boost your steps a little bit, but I want you to ground yourself before you start your day. 90% of you, I give you walking meditations so that you ground your ass before you take off on your day and your stressometer goes up to here and chaos sets in. And that's a really good way to do a walking meditation. Listen to a book or a podcast.
Just so you guys know, Mel Robbins has a podcast too.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, also good.
Yep, she sure does. She has a YouTube channel. She's got all kinds of things and books and all of that. Okay. So anything else that you guys have? If not, yes, Shannon, you're
My
laughing.
husband was following around behind me thinking he was funny while I walked to go get my book. He was like on my tail trying to get on camera, I think. So it was kind of funny.
Got it. Okay. So I wanted to, if you guys don't have anything else, I wanted to take this opportunity. I'm just going to share a little something with you. So first off, I want you to know I practice what I preach. Okay. I don't talk about it a lot, but every morning I have a very strong morning routine. My evening routine really does need some work, but my morning routine is pretty good. It kind of pivots a little bit sometimes, on what it looks like as it had a pivot when my like what I did every day when I got a whole like when I went from when I got 60 of you guys, okay, pivot. Okay, I had to pivot a little bit, but it usually always looks the same, and I've pivoted again. So in my morning, like I always have to have this time that I ground. It also will pivot if I'm in prep or not in prep, or like if I'm in an off season, if I'm prepping for a show, that like that. So currently, I do spring out of bed and try to get my cardio in immediately, because if I don't, I will dwindle a little bit. But then I'll come back and I will meditate and I do journal. I do what I call is a stack. Okay. So I don't really call it journaling. I call it stacking. If anybody's familiar or have ever heard of the warrior method, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that is something that I utilize. So I utilize their stacking. And it is basically after I've meditated, and my meditations, guys, fuck, they could be 2 minutes and they could be 20 minutes. And they really aren't like, it's sometimes like it's just me quieting my head. Sometimes I'm just sitting, watching the sun come up, drinking my coffee. Sometimes I'm actually listening to a true meditation. Sometimes I'm not. But it is a way of me grounding myself in the morning. And I do it like even after I've done my cardio. So I did a stack yesterday. A lot of times when I do stacks or I do what you guys would call journaling, mine are usually leaning towards more of an appreciation or a gratitude stack. I lean a lot into that. I don't really do a lot of affirmations. I will listen to affirmations. I might tell myself them. I might have a few written around, but for the most part, when I journal, it's just me getting out gratitude, appreciation, and things like this. So I want to read you a stack that I did on y'all yesterday. You game? You want to hear what I had to say about you guys? All right, here we go. All right, this was an appreciation stack. And I did it yesterday, Monday. And basically, let me see if I can read this correctly, if it's going to show me the whole thing. So my life lesson is, so I started out, and what you should know about these is they're kind of guided. They guide me through by asking me specific questions. So it asked me what I was stacking, and I said I was stacking, my current clients, and it had to do with business. And it asked me about my life lesson. So here we go. The power is always mine. We each hold our own power. And while I appreciate, okay, I've got to get to a better version of this. Full stack. Let's do this. Okay. It asked me what triggered it. And I said, nothing really. Just grateful for my clients and their curiosity to learn to be better than they were yesterday, to be willing to expand and get better every day. It asked me. I love this thing because it asked me questions. What is the story you're telling yourself that created a trigger about stacking your clients? Just how just taking that step to show up for themselves was a big one. Not one, but many are willing. Not many are willing to take. I was voice texting this. This is one that many are not willing to take, or should I say, not brave enough to take. How do you feel? Proud. Describe a specific thought and actions that arise for you when you tell yourself the story. Capital letters, joy and satisfaction. I enjoy and feel joy when I see them hitting milestones with not just their fitness journey, but in life. What do you want your clients to know? I want them to know I'm proud of them. What else do you want your clients to know? I want them to know that I appreciate their willingness to show up for themselves daily. What else do you want them to know? I want them to know that they hold the power to make big decisions in their lives and are more than capable of achieving anything and everything that they want. What do you want for your clients? What else do you want them to know? I want them to know that it is hard and hard pays off. Remember how hard it is to be uncomfortable in your own body. Remember why you started and then choose, in capital letters, your hard. Remember, you can do hard things. Dear my clients. Now it has me write you a letter. I want you to know you all hold the power to change the trajectory of not just your physical body, but your life. You hold the power to become whomever you choose to be. It is all in your perception of what you believe to be true for yourself. You can choose to live in a world of I can't, or you can choose to live in a world of I cans, I wills, or even I get to. You can choose to wallow in self-hatred, pity, or resentment, or you can choose to make choices to change, to transform. I nor any human can want this more for you than you want it for yourself. So choose wisely. Wake up each morning with a mindset to watch a mindset and watch wake up each morning with this type of mindset and watch your life transform. Watch what you can do with your life, your body, your dreams. It's all in perspective and the choices that you make and how you want to show up. You, my friend, my beautiful friend, have to want change. You must want to transform. You must want this more for yourself than anybody else and live like you do. Show up daily like you do. XX Jules. That's my letter to all of you. You're all amazing, beautiful souls. And sometimes shit gets hard. But always remember your why, because there is not, and that's how I truly feel. I could get emotional right now, appreciate every single one of you. And I know how hard it is. And I want you, each one of you, to remember yourself, that you can do hard things. Remember why you're here. in those moments that shit gets messy, shit gets hard. Because it's hard for everybody at different moments of our lives. There's always examples of people that I say, there's the I can'ts, right? And you're going to run into those moments. We all do. I do myself. But just remembering to pivot from that, like pivot, the Friends episode, and pivot and turn those into I get tos, and remember how strong you are, and always remember that I'm here in your corner and cheering you on. But you got to want this for yourself. So you always have to dig super deep. Deal?
Damn you.
Damn me. Why?
She sent that to me yesterday. What was it? Yes, yesterday. And I was already in tears, um, and you freaking read it again, and I'm like bawling over here. I I get it. And everything that she says is 100% true. Like, Jules has been my coach for almost 3 years now, and it's hard. It doesn't matter what stage you're at. Like, it's hard. Like, right now I'm in prep. My hormones are all over the place. I like trying to find my way, and I have a family, I have kids. It's hard, but being single is hard. Like, there's so many different perspectives, and just like having that perspective and just hearing that from you, like, just being reminded that, I get to choose my heart, and everything in the big scheme of things, when I zoom out and look at the bigger picture, like, everything's okay. Like, I'm okay. Where I'm at, I'm okay. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And I just needed that reminder. And you're always in
Okay,
the corner.
so now you both have me on the verge of tears. Can I share something?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Please.
I was on the verge of quitting, giving up on myself, because I was so frustrated. I was like, I cannot do this. This is too hard. This is not me. I'm out, tapping out.
Mhm.
And both of you were there for me. Like, I could not even express how wonderfully you showed up for me and pulled me, put me back on track, gave me the pep talk, the confidence. I'm here for you. Here's the resources. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. Take a deep breath, basically. And I feel good. I feel I'm back and wanting to try and wanting to get to be that badass person that I want to love. And Jen told me, I think it was Jen, said, it was in a check-in form, I think. Tell me one thing that you love about yourself. I was stumped. I could not come up with one thing that I loved about myself. I was just like, why is this the hardest question that I've ever been asked? Like, do I hate myself? But do I love myself? Like, where am I at? And so I decided to say that I love that I'm becoming a badass.
I love
That's
that.
it. That's my story.
Nope, I love it. And I'm going to pivot off of that. I think we all should send her big hearts. That's huge, 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 huge.
Thank you.
I want you to recognize something, Shannon, and I want you guys all to recognize some of the words that she used. These are things that are going to happen. And there is a very specific thing that is happening, and this could happen to you at any point in your journey. When words come up like, I can't, this is not me, I don't do this. These are the brain, the mind, the body resisting change. Catch yourself when you hear these words. They can show up on your second prep for competing. They can show up after you've been with us, Shannon, for, I don't know, I think you've been here 3, I don't know how many months. They can show up at any point in time. They can show up for me. They have. But if you can recognize them, that's kind of what I was talking about, like even in my letter to you guys, is if you can recognize those and pivot from them, that's half the battle, stepping back and hearing yourself. So the one thing that's really good, Shannon, that out of all this, so you always want to find a positive. And the lesson here, Shannon, is and probably the most valuable lesson for you, if you were to ask yourself what you learned, I can see standing out here is you learn to identify that going forward. That's never going to happen again. You're going to hear that language chattering in your head, and it might be 5 minutes, it might be an hour, maybe most a day. You're going to go, damn it, wait a minute. I know that voice. And you're going to pivot. That's the positive, girl. We all have those moments where we go, fuck this is hard. And you don't just do it in fitness. You do it in all aspects of your life. There's not one person on this call that hasn't done it at one point in time in their life for something else. Fuck it, this is hard. I don't want to do this. There's got to be an easier way. But we're all very, very capable of doing hard things, everybody on this call. So I love that. I love that you shared. Thank you for sharing, Shannon. And that's where you guys, learn to lean into these calls, learn to lean into your community, like look for the help. That's what this is all about. You should not suffer alone, ever,
Yeah.
ever. Somebody's got your back. And here's the deal. If we don't know, I bet you anything, Shannon, if you had gone in the community and said, at Christina, I'm struggling. I need help. She'd have been, what you got, babe?
It's embarrassing for me to share my thoughts.
Yeah, it is.
I
Christina,
know.
would you have had her back? Yep.
Of course. I know we
Okay.
should share more because we all have the same thoughts, right?
Yeah.
And that surprises me.
And feeling.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
guess it's a journey, isn't it?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's why these calls are important. So that's where, like, if you want, like, that's where I started in the beginning of this call. That's like what I meant when I dropped that little message on Convos with Jules. A lot of you guys are here very, very, very consistently, and I appreciate you for that. And you miss every once in a while. Steph's traveling and she's not here, and but she does get on the calls. Rita, most of you guys are here. And I think like some people like you, Shannon, don't realize that everybody shares these different thoughts. And these are the places to get the support and to lean in and find out that you just found out, Shannon, you're not alone. You're not alone.
Mhm.
Other people have the same things.
Can I say
had,
something too?
oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
I usually stay quiet on these calls, but they really do ground me. I'm just uh, I'm just a very quiet person, and I love listening to what others say because I feel exactly how others are feeling, and it gives me time to think about it to myself and make changes in my day or week and know that I can do it because I mean, I've yo-yoed up and down just because of many things, but these calls just really help me weekly, just to see that we're all struggling and we're all human, we're all here and we support each other. So I do appreciate the weekly calls. It's hard for me at 6 a.m. sometimes just because I'm in between things, but I do eventually come on. So I do appreciate it. It does help.
Share that in those comments. Get these people on these calls. I need to see more people. And I know like so, but that's what these are for, like I said. And specifically, if you're listening to the recording and you're new, you should be on this call. 1,000%. I'm gonna look at the messages for a minute. Steph, Rita.
Love you guys. I'm so emotional.
You are. Whew.
I know. I'm like, what the hell?
I think we have a few a lot of whack things, but
All
Uh,
good. All good. Just letting it out. Why not?
All right. Well, good call, guys. But I think it is important, to notice that you all, will have different points and, choosing your hard. And the one example I was going to use, and I don't want to make her cry again, but, I've got, it's funny to me, not funny, ha, but I see this and I'm like, this is an interesting concept. I have a lot of teachers on here. And some teachers, I don't think there's one teacher on here currently that doesn't get their steps in. But one of the first things I'll always hear is like when a teacher starts, and anybody that has a job, there's no way I'm going to get my steps in. I can't drink the water, and I'm not going to be able to eat. Well, the reality is that's just the way that you're thinking right now. That's like your choice. Like you can choose to figure these things out and make things happen. They might not look perfectly. And I know that some of these ladies in here, like Rita and Jen, are both teachers, and they figured out how to get it in. Some of them create games with their kids. Some of them make activities, which by the way, I think is freaking awesome. But the flip side of this is we also have people that don't know how to slow their steps down. So we have teachers that can't get their steps in, and then we have some current teachers that can't lower their steps. There's always going to be a challenge. Okay? And it starts with I can't.
Well,
Oh,
yes, you fucking can.
exactly.
Your
So
mindset.
I can't get my steps down below. Well, yeah, you can. Figure it out. Sit your ass down. I don't know. Do something. But the humorous part is I hear the same thing. I can't hit those step goals. Now, somebody's like, why the hell does she have to get less steps? Well, that's all in the cards because her stress level is running very, very high right now, and it's affecting her outcome of her body, which, by the way, is something that can affect a lot of you guys in several ways. I've got another client currently right now that is looking to hit certain goals and walking like a fiend. And I find this humorous. I'm like, I need less steps. I need less steps. Yes, but you have a step challenge going on and I want to win it. Okay, great. I understand, but you're miles ahead. I need less steps because the reality is as much as a good thing can be, that's why we have like step goals and stuff like that. It's sometimes if you push the limit, the body, that's why I literally lots of times just do step goals with you guys because more isn't always better. It's sticking within what your body needs. And sometimes you can overstress your body. So currently, we're in a position with a certain somebody on this call where she's overstressing her body. And she can't afford to overstress her body right now because the effects of it are astronomical because of how close she is to competing. And it's not just about the competing, it has to do with how your body becomes very sensitive when you're there, right? And so there's a lot of factors that can come in, and the only thing that can be taken away right now to reduce the stress is activity. Can't eat any less food. And many of you guys will fall in this too. Like when you come to us and you're like, "Ugh," and we have to reset you. A lot of times what we're doing when we reset you is we're trying to adjust your nutrition, we're adjusting your cardio because you came from a place of very restrictive diets and shit tons of cardio. Again, the message here is sometimes that comes back. Right now, she needs to be reset. Like the only thing, her food can't go any lower. She can't stop lifting weights right now. But the intensity of how she lifts, the amount of days that she lifts, the amount of cardio that she does, how many steps she takes can all be controlled. But yet we still hear, I can't. Huh. So the pendulum, guys, swings two ways. Over here, I can't figure out how to make all this happen to I can't slow down. And I'm standing in the middle going, huh, that's very fascinating. How I can't can work two different ways. Yes, you can. So does that message kind of help or ring true with any of you guys? It's kind of a funny story, but that's the reality. Every level
Not
has.
at all. Not at all. It is the reality of it though. And it doesn't matter. Like, and that's why I love this tribe. And I could never leave this tribe because I get so much love and support and understanding and compassion and, you know, a good swift kick in the ass when I need it.
As I'm kicked.
Fuck down. Right.
Yes, exactly. Sit the fuck down.
Get the fuck down.
All right, guys. Be lucky if you ever get to that point where I tell you to sit your ass down. Some of you are probably like, me, please. No, you're all doing very, very well. I am super proud of you. I appreciate each and every one of you and know that you are. I think the theme of this is, like I said, know that you're not alone. And these are good places to come and share. And you have a choice. Like and every day the choice is yours. So remember that. Like you are big, strong women. You're powerful. You're badasses. And sometimes you have to even remind yourself of that when you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, fuck. As Shannon said, this is hard. Fuck that. I can do hard things. Sometimes you have to have a little board meeting with yourself. I used to talk about that a lot. Have a little board meeting in your brain. Like you got a couple people living in there, like, all right, time to sit down, peeps. We need to have a conversation. I've done this before. You laugh at me. I've had board meetings in my brain. Sit down. I got hippie jewels and I got logical jewels, and like I call it my ego and my angel, and they like to like sometimes, and I'm like, yo, sit down. We have to have a conversation.
And we
Steph, I
can
see your beautiful face. Do you have something to add? No? Just showing up your beautiful face?
Just wanted to show up. I was getting ready for the day and I just wanted to show up.
I
think it's
love
important.
that.
So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you for showing up. You guys are awesome. All right. If you don't have any crazy questions or anything else, I'm going to get back to finishing up my check-ins today and then take my little butt to the gym because it's going to be 70 degrees out and I want to walk today. Outside, sorry. Not on my pad. All right. Have a great day, guys. I appreciate you all, and I will see you in the app. Peace.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
appreciate you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.